What's up everyone, it's Ojh&x and we are back at it again, and in this video we're going to look at the top rated Murkeye deck in the entire game. The deck on the screen at the moment is a slight variation of that for people who don't have the deep breath spell, but it works just as well. The actual number one deck in the game looks like this. This is the number one deck in the game, or the number one Murkeye deck in the game. As you can see, it's got in there the Harvest Golem and the deep breath spell, but for people who don't have deep breath unlocked at the moment and maybe don't have some of the other units in this deck, I've made a slight variation to make this so it's accessible to everybody, and that is the deck that we're going to look at first, and then at the end I do have a replay using this deck containing the deep breath spell. So this Murkeye deck then, as you can see from the top deck to this slightly adapted one, the two differences are that instead of the Harvest Golem with the spawning the chickens talent, because I didn't have the spawning the chickens talent and my Harvest Golem was quite low level, I've substituted in the Ghoul, and in place of the deep breath spell we've got the Blizzard spell because it does just as good a job. So we've got Murkeye as the leader with the extended spawning of Murloc's talent. We've got the Shaman in there. The actual number one deck uses the Totem talent, which again I don't have, so we've gone for Earth Shield, which will put that armoured onto our Ghoul. The spells that we've got then, we've got Polymorph in there, we've got the Chain Lightning, and we've got Blizzard, and then we've got the Witch Doctor in there with the Spirit Ward talent that's going to give that immunity bubble. That's the deck. Your opponents, I promise you, will look at the gameplay. People will be rage quitting left, right, and centre. As you're going to see, this deck is super strong in the current meta. Let's jump into some gameplay. First game then, we are going up against Big Boss with a Hogger deck, another strong leader in this current meta. So this deck does cycle very quickly, so we're going to drop a Ghoul in the back, and then not optimal Blizzard value, but we will take it because we do cycle around so quickly. We'll be back to a Blizzard in no time. So Murkeye in the back, Witch Doctor, a Ghoul, and our opponent has got Chain Lightning and is able to play that multiple times. I think it's the Reverberate talent. So that's fine, but that's something for us to watch out for then, knowing that our opponent has clearly got a tactic that they're going to play that Chain Lightning as soon as we start spawning all of our additional minis. So yeah, our opponent is telegraphing that, so we really need to bait that spell out so we can get so we can start trying to, you know, get some of these big overwhelming Murkeye pushes coming down. So let's see what we can do here then. So we're going to be patient. We're going to be patient. I can sense that there's Chain Lightning waiting to come down, so we're not going to give that opportunity just yet. We're going to try and bait this spell out. We're going to Chain Lightning of our own. We have Sheep, and that is our opponent has played Chain Lightning out of cycle, so now that has been baited out, so we're going to go for it now. We are going to go for it from there, and we're going to try and overwhelm at this stage because we know. So there was a second and a third Chain Lightning that can come down there, but we've now got a Shaman on the board to help with some healing, and we've managed to keep a lot of those minis alive. And we've got that, obviously, that immunity bubble. So I think we've got two Ghouls, two Shamans on the board now. Another Murkeye coming down. We're going to try and take this tower on the right. I'm about to sneeze. Suboptimal sneeze time there because we are now dominating, and Big Boss is in some serious trouble here because look at the size of the push we've got. So overwhelmed. We have used both lanes, split our minis. We're going to put a Blizzard on the tower to cover all options, and like that, game over. Right, next up, who've we got then? It is Eclipse with another Hogger deck. So let's see how we do this one then. So we're going to start out with a Ghoul at the back, and then we're going to try and get ourselves some bridge control immediately with the Blizzard coming down there, which is a good tactic against Murkeye decks. If you've got a big spell like that, then do try and spam it on your opponent's base whenever Murkeye's played, because you know that's where all their minis are going to come out of. So bridge control is going to be really important on this one if we can get it. We'll try and cycle around quickly because this deck does cycle very quickly, and our opponents used a Blizzard on those minis that are under the bridge, which is going to give us an opportunity to hopefully take some bridge control. We're going to zap we're going to zap them sneaky bandits. And I'm not 100% sure why we're not going across the bridge here, but we're not. But we are doing okay at the moment with 2 ghouls down, supported by a witch doctor, and that's a decent start for us. So another ghoul coming down on the left, and we're just trying to spread our minis out at this stage. We're getting all the gold chests underneath as well. Another blizzard from our opponent in what I would say was a sub-optimal spot there. And now we've got minis coming down the left, minis coming down the middle, and down the right. And this is where we're just going to completely overwhelm Eclipse. We can play a blizzard on his base, or on their base, knowing that they're going to have to defend or try to defend. Another defensive blizzard coming down, but only catching some of our minis, and with us having taken that left siege tower, that is going to be the end of that. Another murkeye coming down, loads of murlocs spawning, a chain lightning on all of that. And then we've just completely overwhelmed with the split lane pressure, and that is the point of this. Eclipse gives us the thumbs up, he knows it's over, we know it's over. Split lane pressure, how many minis could you want? All immunity bubbled, 4 ghouls. So at the start here, I don't mind going a bit of an all-in because it'll give you a bit of a flavour for what spell your opponent may or may not have. So again, we're going up against the Drak deck with a Shaman. That's pretty standard stuff. We've got a polymorph coming down on all of that, plus a blizzard, which got insane value on the Drakkisath, on the Shaman, and also on a Dark Spear Troll. And already we're doing some pretty good work on our opponent's base there. We're going to play a kobold so we can cycle round. We're going to take that blizzard value because the ghoul will be able to cannibalise, get itself back to health, and do a little bit more chip damage on our opponent's base there. And then we are really going to fan out our minis. So we've got the left side, which is crossing the bridge for bridge control. That's always important. We've got coming down the middle and down the right, and we're just going to flood our opponent at this stage. If anything, I've got a little bit too keen because it would have been good to have had Blizzard in hand to take out that Pyromancer. But we have taken out the Huntress on the right, which is really good with the aid of a polymorph. And again, this deck cycles so quickly that Pepperoncino just cannot get out of his own base, his own like defensive area. We'll polymorph all of that. May well be a Blizzard spell that comes down here just to deny that area. And really straightforward. One final clip here then against our friend JSP, who's playing a Charlga deck. And as you can see, we are dominating on the right and left. JSP is still playing. As you can see, a Chimera has come down there, but I figured that there was going to be something defensive that came down. We've taken the tower on the left. We've denied that whole area of the deployment zone with a Blizzard, and we've got that one wrapped up, no problems at all. This replay against Keen Hot Shine is going to be the #1 deck on the ladder. This is the one that uses the Harvest Golem and Flame Breath. We're going to open up with the Flood at the back, see what spell our opponent might have here. Already got a... our opponent's playing Deep Breath. Okay, so we're going to play our own Deep Breath and a Zap on that Shaman. Is going to get rid of that from healing Sneed because that can be a bit of a pain. And because we've got so many Murlocs and a Murkeye down, we should make decent work of the Gargoyle on the left, and the Polymorph on the right is going to do a great job for us as well. And we've got so many minis that are still alive from that first push, and the importance of this is that whilst we have lost the tower on the left, and I have clearly got some Wi-Fi issues with the delayed spawning, is that if your opponent has Deep Breath, just spread your minis out. Make the most of all of the lanes that are available to you. So the Deep Breath on the left hand side, potentially an overcommitment. We have pushed, we've taken the right hand tower, we've also reclaimed the left hand tower, and I'm not sure if our friend Keen Hotshine has left the building, but that is how we're going to do it against the Deep Breath deck. Spread your minis out and you're just purely overwhelmed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.